Hey guys, my name is Stellar Christoph, and today we're going to be going over our fire starter deck. Let's go. So as you see on the front cover, this is going to be our starter deck with Trifernal. This is the Kickstarter starter deck, but first edition and Kickstarter are exactly the same cards. The only difference is the Stellar is going to be different if you're able to pull one. With the Kickstarter, you can pull Necruff, the baby form of Trifernal. In the first edition, you can pull Trifernal itself. So just like all of our other ones, you just have your box topper right in the front. On the side, you're going to have the fire insignia and then the icon that shows that it's the Trifernal starter deck on both sides. And on the back, you're going to have a deck list of all 60 cards. Kind of talks about the deck and the game, and then you got your QR code for a learn to play. So I've already opened this. Sadly, no Stellar for me. As you can see, there is a void right here. These hollow stickers, if they're tampered with, you'll be able to see that if they've been opened. So never been an issue in the community, but if you ever get something and you see void, just know something has happened. So we're going to open this up. First thing you're going to see is we have our nice custom sided 20-sided dice. The fire insignia is going to be number 20 for you. In the back, you're going to have a how to play guide with Pantera on the front, but it kind of tells you about the cards and the spirits and everything and roughly how to play the game. When you pull the deck out, so I said it's a 60 card deck, it's actually a 61 card deck. The 61st card is actually going to be a little cheat sheet on how to play, about casting Elestrals, Ascension, your phases. On the back side, how to declare attacks, about attack and defense battles, and then your runes and what the symbols mean. So we're going to start off right away. Your box topper is always going to be a hollow variant of the card. So this one is going to be your Trifernal. 14 attack, 3 defense. Second highest attack to date in this game. The top one being Pantera at 15. This is a 3-cost Elestral. And when your opponent casts an Elestral, you can expend a Fire Spirit in order to take 3 defense away until the end of next turn. Into the next end phase. If the Elestral's defense is reduced to 0 by this effect, it is destroyed. So if you have your Trifernal out and your opponent doesn't pay attention and they summon theirs is going to get destroyed upon the casting. So you got that one to start. Next up, you're going to have your Necruff. This is going to be the baby form of your Cerberus, of your Trifernal. 5 attack, 1 defense, very high attack for a 1 cost for a standard attack. You have cards like Viscerus, that's a 4 attack. Its special ability bumps up to a 5 when it's on the field, but this is just base attack. When this Necruff destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, your opponent must expend a spirit. Very good for a Krakatuga burn deck as well. Obviously, you're going to have it in your fire deck, but very good attack to have. Even if you misenchant it, if you have even a water deck and you need some kind of high attack, you can misenchant this with water and do some damage. Got 3 of those. Blazerus, this is going to be the second Ascension, the second form of it. 7 attack, 2 defense, it's a 2 cost. When this Blazerus attacks, this Blazerus can attack twice during your battle phase. When this Blazerus destroys a second Elestral in the same battle, you can special send the Blazerus to Trifernal from your hand or deck. So again, if your opponent doesn't have much going on the field, but they got 2 Elestrals, you can go ahead and do some serious damage, summon your big bad, your box topper out, and really take control of the game. Wormite, this is a cute little guy to have, a good little guy to have. 3 attack, 1 defense. When you can target an opponent's Elestral and give it -4 attack until the end phase. So you can use that every turn. This one, for instance, you have 2 in this deck, so if you have them both out, you can use them both, take up to 8 attack away from your opponent's Elestrals. Again, if they have their own Blazer or Cell, which is a 7, you have both of these guys out, there you go. You're going to have 0 attack. You're going to be able to knock him out and start attacking his points directly, his spirits directly. Floracne, this is the Ascension of Wormite. 4 attack, 8 defense, 2 cost. As long as this Floracne is enchanted, Elestrals cannot attack the turn they are cast unless they are fire enchanted. So this is a lot like Racerus for the Thunder Spirits. It has a 4 attack, 2 defense. The biggest difference is Ascension and a super good defense. If you have other cards that can boost the defense, say you have Bag of Winds or Scythe of Demeter out, you can bump that defense up to a 10 or an 11. If you have Volcanic Forge out, same thing. You can kind of bump him up. Since he's got 2 spirits, automatically give him a 10 defense. Not much is getting past that without some kind of help. Humbust. This is actually a starter deck exclusive. This is the only way you can get this card. 1 attack, 2 defense. When a player casts a rune, the opponent must send the top 2 cards from their deck to the underworld. This Humbust effect can be activated up to 4 times in a turn. So you can only play 4 runes on your turn. Doesn't matter what the invoke runes. But say you got 2 of these out. With this guy's effect, you can activate it 4 times. That's 8 cards off the top of your opponent's deck. If you have 2 of these out, that's going to be 16 right off the bat if you're able to play all 4 runes. Very good to have in like those mill decks. You can even do like a combo of a fruit and a mill deck. Myself, I haven't made a really good deck with that, so I'm not going to give anybody any pointers on that one. A-Drive actually used this. He went to a LGS, learned how to play night near his hometown. I think it was like 2 hours away from him. But he used a deck similar and was just, he was beating people left and right, had a really good time. Something I'm personally going to look into, I love from the Yu-Gi-Oh aspect, I love destroying your opponent's deck and then also attacking your spirits directly. So awesome card to have in those type of decks. Kin Leo, 3 attack, 1 defense. I've said it in other videos, every element has an Elestral that has its own Nexus mechanic. So this is going to be the fire ones. You can Nexus up to 2 fire spirits. When you do, you can target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. So do that every turn. Not to mention, right off the bat, if your opponent has their own Trifernal out, they have the Pantera out, go ahead, play this, use its ability, knock that card out. Valkyries, this is going to be a 3 attack, 2 defense. This Valkyries gets +1 attack for each enchanting fire spirit on the field. So you have Volcanic Forge out, and you have this guy out. That's 2 spirits, 5 attack right off the bat. If you have your Fluoracne, add another 2. That's going to be a 7. So you can see where I'm going with this. If you have Hammer of Hephaestus, just keep going down the line. If you need to Nexus cards off of, say other Elestrals or runes, put it on this guy. Just keep bumping that attack up. Cinder. So we're talking about mill decks and attacking your opponent's deck. 3 attack, 2 defense. When this Cinder receives 1 or more fire spirits, your opponent must send the top 3 cards from their deck to the underworld. Again, you have this guy out, and then say you have your Kin Leo out. If you can have 1 extra spirit on the field, instead of summoning 1 turn, go ahead and enchant a spirit onto this guy. Just keep sending that spirit back and forth every single turn, and then go ahead and really attack your opponent's deck. You're going to be able to Nexus with Kin Leo by itself, but say you got Circle the Sky, use Circle the Sky and you use Kin Leo's effect. Activate this effect 1 per turn. Sorry guys, apparently didn't get my thoughts straight. I apologize. So you can't really have too much of a fire deck without Smaltuga. This is one of those few cards that's a different element but helps the following. So when you normal cast this Smaltuga, you can search your deck for an Elestral with a 1 cost fire and add it to your hand. So same thing, 5 defense first off, really good to have in your deck. But say you had a combo and you wanted to get Cinder, you wanted to get Kin Leo, play this in defense mode, you're protecting yourself, and then you can get the card that you actually need. Veritaqua, 3 attack, 1 defense. When this Veritaqua enters the battle with a defense Elestral, you can negate the Elestral's effect and destroy it. If you do this, negate the Elestral's effect and destroy it. If you do, the Veritaqua deals no damage in this battle. Spy Nymph. Again, talk about high defenses. Good to have. 1 cost. When this Spy Nymph is destroyed in battle, you can cast it as an artifact empowering the Elestral that destroyed it with an effect. The empowering Elestral has 0 base attack. So basically, whatever it is destroys this card. You can re-enchant this, recast it, but as an artifact rune this time, and that a card has 0 base attack. So with stadium runes, it can still get an attack, but you're taking their base attack away. So again, I always talk about Pantera being 15. If somehow Pantera attacks this and destroys it, it goes to a 0 attack. The highest attack in the game going to 0. Now we're getting on to our runes. Nectar of the Gods. It's going to be your Pot of Greed. You're going to draw 2 cards, but it's going to cost you 2 as well. Ambrosia, staple in every single deck. You should not have a deck without this card. Costs you 1, but you return 3 spirits of any kind from your underworld into your hand, or back into the spirit deck. Circle the Sky is your Nexus mechanic. Cost you 1. You can move up to 2. As long as you move 1, you can draw a card. You do not have to move both spirits to do that. Hephaestus, this is going to be the divine rune for your fire deck. It's going to cost you 1, but when you play it, you can enchant up to 3 more. All divine runes allow you to enchant more spirits to it. To use their own ability if you wanted to Nexus off of them. Poseidon's the one that is effect literally is to Nexus. So if you're playing cards like Aetheros that lets you Nexus and then you draw a card, you can keep playing those cards back and forth. But this one is when you can disenchant 1 fire spirit from this Hephaestus in order to search your deck for an artifact and add it to your hand. So Hammer of Hephaestus and Hephaestus go together, but it doesn't matter. You can do Bag of Winds, you can do Trying to Poseidon, whatever you guys wanted to do for whatever combo you have lined up. Volcanic Forge, this is going to be the stadium for fire. The Elestrals, as long as they have a fire enchanted Elestral, they have +1 attack, +1 defense for every spirit that's attached to them. Hammer of Hephaestus, this is going to be your artifact. The Empowered Elestral gets +1 attack for each enchanting rune on the field. As long as Hephaestus is enchanted, the Empowered Elestral cannot be targeted by opponent's Elestral effects. So if you have an Elestral that says it's going to suppress an ability per se, as long as this is attached to it, you can't do that. You can't activate that ability. Eruption. I talked about a Krakatoa burn deck earlier. Opponent must expend 3 spirits. It costs you 2, but they have to expend 3. The downside is if they have a fire enchanted Elestral on the field, they only have to toss out 1 instead. So make sure you're paying attention. Play this at the right opportunity, at the right moment. Earthquake. Another good staple to have in most decks. Tsunami personally would be my first choice for over Earthquake. To have up to 3, I definitely try to have an Earthquake in my deck, but basically it costs you 2 Earth to destroy any Elestral on the field. Gorgon's Gaze. This is a card along with Poison Tip Arrow. You will always have 2 to 3 in your deck. No ifs, ands, or buts. Unless you have a combo that you need multiple cards and you don't have room, have this in your deck. This is a counter rune. It costs you 2. Target an Elestral until the end phase that Elestral's effect is negated. Cannot receive enchantment, attack, Nexus, or ascend. So you're literally taking that Elestral basically off the board. Again, you have this face down for 1 turn. You can activate it on your turn. If there's an Elestral that has an ability that say when you attack it, it can. I think Racer Ridge has that ability that when your opponent attacks, you can expend to stop the attack. This one would stop that ability from happening. Tsunami, especially for water decks in general, great card to have in your deck. Costs you 1 water. But all Elestrals on the field go into defense unless they're water enchanted. So any water deck, you're going to have 3 of these. But in general, this is a good card to have because it's going to turn all cards to defense. And then on your turn, you can switch back to attack and go ahead and do some damage. And also protect your own Elestrals. Next up, we're going to go to our spirits. Let me see real quick. You're going to have a total of 12 of the Vipyro. It is a fire deck after all, so you want these the most. The Lycoris is going to have a total of 5, and then you're going to have 3 Tyratlas. Now remember, a lot of people, when they're making their decks, they look at it as, okay, well, I have 4 Earth cards in my deck. It costs me 6. I need to have 6 Tyratlas. That's not the case. Cutting it by half actually really would work out because you're going to have 2 to 3 Ambrosia in your deck. So you're going to be able to pull those spirits back. There are other cards, other abilities that let you do that as well. Water especially, you got Sluggle, that when you summon it, or you get 3 water spirits back. Quackle does the same thing for Thunder. So there's other avenues that you can go ahead and get spirits back. But that's why you don't want to completely load up on your miscellaneous spirits. If you're running a fire deck, 12 being on the low side, I probably wouldn't go past 14 or 15. But that's me personally. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching the video. My name is Stellar Christoph, and I hope you guys all have a stellar day. See ya.